Welcome to the show. Luis, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, Manny. How are you doing?
Uh, you
Considering,
know, yeah, you
yeah.
know.
Now that we're on the same page, same boat,
I don't know
both
how
our
this happened,
teams,
man.
both our teams in the shitter. I'll tell you how it happened, man. You want me to tell you how it happened?
Go ahead. Wipe
For
that.
those
Wipe that shit eating smile off your face. I'm sorry, man.
for those of you who listen to the show for quite some time, please go back to our preseason predictions, where a friend of mine who sits across from me in this podcast booth here, you know, AL Cy Young, Garrett Cole, comeback player of the year, Giancarlo Stanton, MVP, Aaron Judge, Silver Slugger, Hank Aaron Award winner, DJ LeMahieu,
uh,
Roberto Clemente Award, Miguel Andujar. I mean, you were just going off, man. Best record in baseball, number one seed. I mean, dude, but the good thing is that I'm here for you, man. I quit on the season weeks ago.
are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Seriously though, so we can't even use injuries as an excuse anymore. Like I get it. Judge is out, Stanton is out, Paxton is out, but for the most part, most of your team is still there. Glaber's playing, Gary's playing, DJ LeMahieu's playing.
Well, Glaber just came
Um,
back, so
yeah, but it's not
they've
like he
been.
missed that much time. He was supposed to. I thought he was going to miss most of the season. He came back pretty quick.
What I mean is that the Yankees have been in this skid for how long now? Like, it's been like the last 17 games or so that they've
At
been
least,
struggling. So I wouldn't say Glaber's been back for that entire stretch.
and even so,
Um,
Glaber has been around for a lot of. He's been around for most of the games, and Glaber's hitting. He has just one home run and 6 RBIs this season so far, and that's not
oh,
including
for
today's
this
game. I'm not sure what's happening for the season. Yeah,
for the season, yeah, no, Glaber hasn't done anything.
he's hitting
Today,
233 with a 660 OPS. How
yeah,
could you win? How could you win like that? Gary Sanchez, 48 Ks and 110 plate appearances, not including tonight. 130 average, again, not including tonight's games. 587 OPS. Brett Gardner, 170 average, 603 OPS. You have Chad Green in the last 7 games, 6.1 innings pitched, 8 earned runs, 4 home runs given up. He has an 11.37 ERA. Araldis Chapman came back from COVID. Sucks. Ottavino this season. Sucks. I mean, at some point you have to wonder if Judge was around and Stan was around. Yes, the team would be slightly better, but how much better? Because I'm going to tell you what the problem is, CT. I took some notes here. The problem is the offense is anemic, but thankfully your starting pitching is doing enough to keep you in the game. Like right now, J Happ just went 6 innings and allowed 2 runs. The problem is the bullpen. The bullpen in those first set of games up to 8-17, when the Yankees were 16-6 and had the best record in baseball, the bullpen had 9 saves and only 1 blown save. Since then, they're 5-14, not including tonight. Their bullpen has a 4.63 ERA, and they've only saved 3 games and blown 8 of them. So, say they save those 8 games, you go from having a 21-20 record to a 29-12 record, and you're first in the AL again, best record in the American League. That's the problem right there. And that used to be our strength was our bullpen. And now Britton is back, so you can't use that as an example. Canley's gone, but that's just one arm. What the fuck? This is crazy.
yeah, in yesterday, like I think you dropped 2 games to the Orioles in that
We lost 3
series.
out of 4 to the Orioles. 3 out of 4 after winning 19 straight.
Yeah, you haven't seen that in a while from the Yankees. But going back to last night's game, the offense did its part. I think you guys were up like 4-0. It was like 6 runs of anything. The Blue Jays came all the way back and scored 10 runs in an inning. So the bullpen was at fault for last night's game. But
Yep.
I was watching the game before, and Tajon Walker walked like 5 batters in 5
Yep.
innings, loaded the bases twice, second and third in 1 inning, and the Yankees didn't do anything with it.
No
They
runs.
didn't score any runs on Tajon Walker, who was all over the place today. And you would think that a guy like Luke Voigt, who's actually hitting really good, DJ LeMahieu came up with the bases loaded. I'm pretty sure he did. Clint Frazier, Miguel Andujar, Mike Talkman, who everybody was on his jock at the beginning of the season. If you guys could take that back.
Talkman's getting on base, but he's not hitting home runs. He has more steals than he does home runs. And Aaron Hicks also hitting close to the Mendoza line, but at least he's getting on base. He has like a 370 on base percentage. But speaking of Hicks, getting thrown out in third base, you stole second already. Why are you getting greedy? Why are you trying to take third too? Fucking just, you're in scoring position. They're pressing now. This team is pressing, and they can feel it. And they have the Orioles,
breathing
right
down
there.
their neck. Yep, they're whooping. They're whooping the Mets. They're whooping the Mets as we speak, and they're only a game and a half back for the 8th seed.
The Detroit Tigers are right there. The Seattle Mariners won, I think, 6 straight. I don't know how they're doing tonight or if they've played yet. So yeah, if the Orioles win tonight and the Yankees lose, the Yankees are only ahead of the Orioles by half a game. So I know that a week or two ago, I pretty much guaranteed the Yankees are going to make the postseason. I didn't expect them to be this bad. I didn't think there was a chance that they were this bad. At this point now, I believe that they don't deserve to make the postseason. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't make the postseason. In fact, I think they deserve to not make the postseason. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. I'm so fucking pissed. Like in my lifetime, I've seen bad Yankees baseball, but in my as a person who grew up and my first game was in 1993, since then, I haven't seen a bad Yankee season, essentially. This is the worst I've seen this team play, and it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for this team.
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment that the Yankees don't deserve to be in the position they're in because, let's be honest, man. Can any of the teams that are hanging around in the 8th seed or right below that, like the 9th seed, 10th seed, or whatever, can any of those teams? And there's a fly in my room. I don't know if you can tell.
I saw it a couple times.
Whack the shit out of it, but
there he is.
Gonna just fight super hard to ignore it. It's right there. Like, can we really think that any of those teams, like the Orioles or the Mariners, or any of those teams are going to sustain it for the next 2 weeks to really keep that 8th seed? I don't think so. I think the Yankees are still going to make it to the playoffs. And in typical Yankee fashion, Aaron Judge will be healed and he'll be back, and Giancarlo Stanton will be back, and Garrett Cole will be Garrett Cole of last year. And they'll sweep their way through to the World Series, like in typical Yankee fashion. But in that sense, no, I don't think the Yankees deserve to be in the playoffs. No, they don't deserve that shit, because this is the same lineup that shattered the home run record right before the Twins shattered the home run record, I believe, last year. And you had all these guys stepping up, next man up mentality. So you're dealing with a similar thing. The only guys I could think of are Stanton and Judge out of the lineup. You still got a lot of good hitters in that lineup. You should be winning these games. But I also got to give it up to the Blue Jays, man. They have to win these games, and they're stepping up.
And the rest days are fucking killing me at this point with the Yankees. Like, DJ LeMahieu didn't want to be rested on Saturday. They rested him. Gleyber Torres comes back Saturday. He's rested on Sunday. They don't want him to play 2 days in a row. I don't understand. It's a 60-game season. Yeah. Nobody should have an off day in a 60-game season. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense. And real quick, just some numbers on the Yankee offense. They started the season, like I said, 16-6 record. That's the best record in Major League Baseball. Since then, they've gone 5-14, and they're 21-20 total. The record, that 5-14 record, that stretch where they went 5-14. That's a 263 win-loss percentage, the 4th worst in baseball. Currently, the run differential is +4, the worst of any playoff contending team in the American League. When they were in first place with that 16-6 record, they were first in F-WAR, slugging, WOBA, and WRC+. Currently, they're 17th in F-WAR, 12th in WRC+, 13th in WOBA, 15th in slugging. This team is an embarrassment right now, and I think the run differential in that time, I wrote a piece about this yesterday, is -29, 4th worst in the entire league. They don't deserve it. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, 2 guys are out, Judge and Stanton. That's it. And Paxton. for the starting rotation. This team should not be this bad.
Yeah, with Paxton's struggle, you don't even know what kind of position you'd be in. Um, do you think that the Yankees should have made a better effort to acquire some guys at the trade deadline, considering that your bullpen is struggling and your starting pitching pretty much is what it is at this point? Like that's the starting pitching you came into in the start of the season, unless you consider Severino like the key asset to everything that was supposed to go right. I don't think so. I think Severino's kind of overrated.
What an asshole.
I gotta call it like it is, man. But are you upset that they didn't go out and get anybody?
No, because at the time I was happy that I felt like it was a sign that we're gonna stick with these guys with Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar. By the way, Miguel Andujar is heating up. I'm not even sure if he's playing tonight. Shit like
He
that
is.
pisses me off.
He hit a screaming line drive at the wall
Okay.
today. Yeah.
So I'm okay with that, but I think that this offseason, even if we make the playoffs, unless we win the World Series and these guys fucking turn it all around, this offseason, I think you have to send a message, just like you did in 2017 when you fired Joe Girardi, even though he took you to a game 7 of an ALCS. I think you have to trade somebody big and say, like, nobody's indispensable here. Be it eating some of Giancarlo Stanton's contract and trading him to like the worst team in the league or some shit, or Gary Sanchez, or somebody has to go. I'm sorry, but I think that's where we need to go here. I think that's the level that we're getting at. And I think that Brian Cashman needs to. I'm an analytics guy. I get it. The numbers, I understand the numbers, the strategies. The rest days are fucking bullshit. And I'm sorry, there's games I've seen where guys are cruising and you're taking them out of the game for a bullpen arm. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand.
I gotta be honest with you, man. This is just me bridging gaps over here and just trying to talk shit. Doesn't it feel like Aaron Boone was hired just to answer questions, and that it doesn't really matter who was the manager in terms of like how they would handle the bullpen or who would rest on what day and who gets to play this position, who gets to do what, because Aaron Boone does a poor job of holding players accountable. And that's something that Joe Girardi was good at, like
Right.
naming names and like holding players accountable. So it feels like, in 2017, what was it, game 7 of the ALCS?
Mm-hmm.
That team was handed to Aaron Boone along with James Paxton and whatever acquisitions they made. He won back-to-back seasons of 100 games or more. But it's like now that the Yankees are struggling, it's the same Aaron Boone. He hasn't really changed the way his tone. I know he's frustrated, but I think fans want to see some blood in in those press conferences, and it almost seems like it's all being ran by analytics, and Aaron Boone was just the perfect candidate to say the right thing no matter what. No matter what, if Gary Sanchez has a pass ball and decides to just roll on his stomach and kick dirt or something, Aaron Boone isn't going to call him out in the game afterwards.
Yeah,
press conference afterwards.
I think that's why he was brought here, because Girardi was the polar opposite, and I think they wanted someone who was player friendly, which is usually what you do when you go from a manager who's strict. You go to a player friendly manager. When that stops working, you go to a tougher manager. Like the Houston Astros went from AJ Hinch to Dusty Baker. I know that Dusty Baker is player friendly, but he's old school. He's probably going to hold you more accountable than someone like AJ Hinch would. But I think that you're making a great point. And another big point to this is that I read news reports today that Brian Cashman held a team meeting. Why is Brian Cashman holding the team meeting?
Exactly. That's what made me think. It's like,
shouldn't Aaron Boone hold the team meeting?
If I was the manager, I'd be holding guys by the neck, be like, "Yo, listen, like you're gonna stop this. You're gonna stop this shit. If they put the shift on you, you're gonna lay a bunt down to the third base side or something. Like
that's what you need right now.
It shouldn't be Brian. It almost makes me think Brian Cashman is the brains behind everything we see. In the game at game time, it makes me think like he's the one calling the shots. Because why is he the one giving that team meeting? What is that about?
I don't understand. So yeah, I don't get it. I think how many games are left in the season? What's the record right now? The Yankees are 21-20, so that's 41 games. There's 19 games left, including the one being played tonight. You're 2 games behind the Blue Jays. and the Orioles, the Tigers, and the Mariners are breathing down your neck.
And you face the Blue Jays again,
8
I
more
think.
times after tonight.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have opportunities, but time is running out, and you better not take this shit for granted. Like this isn't given to you. You got to earn it. You want to be World Series champions. You gotta work for it. At the same time, we're still 9 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox. Man, how bad are you guys? I'm
We're
sorry, I got to throw in a little cheap shot in there. I need something to feel better about right now.
we're horrible, but I mean, at this point, what the hell, man? Like, look what we started the season with. Look at us.
Okay, excuses.
So we could bash the Red Sox if you want. I don't even watch the Red Sox games anymore. Barely. I catch like the glimpses that I get when like Mitch Moreland hits a home run or Devers hits a home run or Xander Bogaerts is up to bat. Like when I get the little notification through my fantasy baseball because I have Xander Bogaerts and I have like JD Martinez, I'll catch that part of the Red Sox games. But it sucks watching the Red Sox when we just have no pitching. It's like any lead that we have is never safe. Kind
I
of like
know
how
that
the Yankees
feeling,
are
man.
going through right now. But
Hmm.
let me just say this. I find it kind of interesting after last night's game. Adam Ottavino gives up the grand slam, blows the inning wide open for the Blue Jays. And it didn't feel like a Yankee answer when they asked him. It's like, how quickly can you forget about what just happened and keep moving? And his answer was something like, you know what, my personality is kind of tough. It's not easy to get over these things. Like that just didn't even feel like a baseball answer, right?
And
Like
I heard that we're making excuses. The pitchers that they couldn't see the catcher signs or some shit. Like
I heard
every
about that, but I didn't even bother to
so did for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays. Then there's the same situation for the other team. Like don't use that shit as an excuse. I don't want to hear that shit.
yeah.
Like just take responsibility and forget about. Like at this point, you kind of have to have here. I'm gonna throw the Red Sox in here for a good reason now. You kind of have to have the mentality of the '04 Red Sox at this point. Play every game as if it's the last game of the season. That's it. One game at a time. Focus on tomorrow. I think it was Mariano Duncan for the Yankees in '96 said, "We play today, we win today. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do." Like
I think that I think that the fact that they got rid of a guy like Girardi who was more strict and on top of players, holding them accountable, all this stuff about like you got to start playing your part, the Brian Cashman meeting, players knowing that they hit this skid and they're struggling. I don't know, man. Doesn't look good for guys like Gary Sanchez. We think he might break out, and I wish I had some real wood to knock on. This is fake wood in front of me right here, but I said something similar
your
about I
penis,
thought
man.
that every time I feel like I call a player out or a team out, they just turn it around. But I'm gonna say, man, Gary Sanchez is gonna really test his mental stability and how he can handle these situations. Let me throw this. Let me throw this your way, Manny. Could it be that both the Red Sox and the Yankees, uh, a year after the Astros were caught in their scandal, they had to do away with their sign stealing, scheme, and that this is the result? You don't have guys like, well, I mean, Luke Voigt is still hitting, but whoever else stepped it up, Gio Urshela, all these guys that were hitting last year, could it just be that the Yankees and the Red Sox put away their schemes and are now playing like this is the real product of what we're seeing?
I don't think so. I mean,
All right, hey, take it easy, take it easy.
sorry, man. I think that to be honest, like DJ LeMahieu was hitting out of this world to start the season. He was the only hitter at 400. There's going to be a correction at some point. I think he's going through that correction right now.
Yeah,
You
he's solid.
have Gio Urshela was having a great season. I could never say that guy's name, and now he's hurt. Of course, you have Stanton and Judge are out. I'm not trying to make excuses. Gary Sanchez, I can't even explain. Maybe the Gary Sanchez of 2 years ago when he hit like 197 or some shit. Maybe that's the real Gary Sanchez. And I know that people will throw out stats that he's still like in the top 5 catchers and some hitting statistics and shit. What I'm seeing right now is not
No, it's
is
horrible.
not it's not major league caliber. And in my opinion, I think he's just trying to smack the shit out of everything. And it's like, just make some contact here. At this point, just try to fucking put the bat on the ball and that's it. Like, that's all you need to focus on at this point. Um, Gleyber Torres, I don't even know. I don't even 1 home run, 6 RBIs after the season you had last year, after playing
Yeah.
10 games in Baltimore. this year, and you couldn't smack home runs in that stadium this year. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Maybe we're just not as good as I thought we were. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start crying now, man. Maybe we're just
Yeah,
not that good. I don't know.
I hear
And Garrett
some.
Cole, people are shitting on Garrett Cole. He hasn't been that bad, and he kind of. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on starting pitching right now because of what I said before. 8 blown saves since they were in first place with the best record in baseball. Um, and I think Garrett Cole's trying to do too much. He's giving up a lot of home runs. He gave up a lot of home runs last year too, though, and he should have been Cy Young in my opinion. And I wrote a piece about Garrett Cole through his first 8 starts last season compared to this season. This season's numbers are better than last season's. So you're getting exactly what you paid for here. Your
Yeah,
offense isn't scoring runs, and your bullpen isn't closing the door. And those are supposed to be your team's 2 biggest strengths. And
yeah.
and they're not right now.
I don't think Garrett Cole is the problem, man. I really think the lineup has been horrible, and like compared to what we think they should have been.
Right.
And today's game proves it, man. I'm telling you, Tajon Walker was all over the place, man. You have no excuse when you have that many opportunities. I want to see the stat at the end of the game of runners left on base in scoring position, runners in
Yeah.
scoring position left on, because in the 5 innings that I saw, had to be at least seven runners
Crazy.
every inning.
He gave up 5 walks and I think 2 hits. So seven runners on base, and you couldn't score a run. Whatever. I'm done.
Let it
I'm
out,
done with
man.
the Yankees. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. All right.